2024 marks the year of the 81st Golden Globe Awards. Do the math, and that means the awards have been running since 1943. Now, nothing that has run for that long could possibly have done it without a sticky past and some conflict along the way. I'm not one to leave well alone. There's a past to explore, and I'm going to dig it up. So, while exploring the wonderful and worthy nominations over the years, let's run through the history and look through the sometimes noble and sometimes downright shameful past of this internationally coveted award. How did it go from a local American laughingstock to one of the greatest achievements in an artist's career worldwide? Remember to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay updated on what's making the rounds in Black Hollywood. You don't want to miss it. The first Golden Globes were held in 1943. But did you know that no black person ever won a Golden Globe for the first 21 years of the award running? Sidney Poitier won a Golden Globe for his performance in Lilies of the Field in 1964. He had been nominated twice before, making him the first black person to ever be nominated in 1959 for his role in The Defiant Ones. Sidney was a favorite in the Golden Globes Academy, as he was the only black man to ever be nominated until 1968. Between 1959 and 1968, he was nominated 5 times and won once. During this time, Claudia McNeil became the first black woman to be nominated for a Golden Globe to show appreciation for her impeccable performance in the stage play A Raisin in the Sun. The first black woman to ever win the award was Whoopi Goldberg for her performance in the 1986 adaptation of The Color Purple. Now that seems a little odd. The institution went on for nearly 21 years without ever nominating or giving a win to a black performer. Maybe there just weren't any good performances worth giving an award for 21 years? Well, not really. Let's do a little more investigating. The Oscars were founded in 1927 and were immediately considered an incredible accolade for the career of any actor or actress. But the Golden Globes saw a gap in their assessment of talent and art. That gap was stage plays and television. The Oscar is a very film-oriented award. This makes sense since they were founded with the intention of advancing the arts and science of motion pictures by motivating artists and awarding them for their achievements that advance the film scene. The Golden Globes recognized that similarly, worthy achievements and artistic innovations were being made on Broadway stages and television shows all over the country and even the world. They set out to honor all categories of performed entertainment in all forms. But it didn't quite pan out the way they would have liked at the start. According to the New York Times, Hollywood viewed the award as meaningless at best and corrupt at worst. This award was a Hollywood laughingstock for many years, and it was seen as embarrassing to get one. They misled the public on how they determined winners, with scandals arising of people paying the Golden Globes to be awarded a trophy. The award was seen as illegitimate, but many found legitimacy in the way that it was run. It seemed professional and reasonable on the face of it, and resembled the way that the Oscars were run. They became a useful marketing tactic for many shows and films. When people see something win an award, they feel as though there is an official precedent to watch it. They don't want to miss it, and they know it won't be a waste of time because a group of important people said it would be good. For many years, this determined the visibility of a lot of art on the Hollywood scene. But what about all the art they decidedly left behind? One of the reasons people in Hollywood found the Golden Globes distasteful was the fact that they sorely lacked in the diversity department. There were no black members out of all 81 journalists on the board. This contributed to a lot of oversight in the art that they reviewed and which art they had access to, heard about, or considered for an award. They set out to uphold all forms of entertainment art and left a complete blind spot on their board, because the board consisted of people who were all watching out for similar art and hanging out in similar art spaces. People with more diverse experiences of art could have opened the doors for them to experience and consider a broader range of artistic innovations in different spaces. This exclusivity is why many of the greatest African American and Native American art were never considered for Golden Globes within the first 21 years of the award running. It may also be the reason why, after discovering Sidney Poitier's talent, he became quite literally the only black man they would ever consider for an award for another 19 years. There have also been continuous scandals about favoritism, under-the-table payments, and sexual harassment allegations over the years. To be honest, there is nothing particularly special about winning a Golden Globe. Awards can only have the recognition we give them as an audience. We decide if an award validates the art that it is trying to appreciate. If we don't think the opinion is important, then the award means nothing. One thing that makes the Golden Globes stand out is the fact that they judge internationally and that they have 27 categories instead of the traditional 24 that was established by the Oscars. They put a lot of money into those Golden Globe-shaped statuettes, and it lends to how important the award ceremony itself feels. However, the Golden Globes have never been able to amass the same level of relevance as the Oscars. The Golden Globes are less respected, have too many scandals, and their opinions aren't as trusted, and no one ever expects them to reflect the interests of the general audience in their award decisions. Some critics and journalists consider the awards to be entirely redundant. For example, a box office achievement award is useless in a year when those box office hits were also critical successes. It is also redundant when the same or similar awards are given to the same films that already received Oscars. The critique is that the Golden Globes tend to do very little to actually push the boundaries of creative achievement in Hollywood. They instead function as more of a corroborator in determining the status quo of artistic achievement in that year, often double awarding. The criteria for succeeding at getting a Golden Globe is also highly unclear. Past members of the judging panel have confessed that they are perhaps too exclusive when accepting applications to judge as a member. Someone anonymously reported that one of the members on the judging panel is legally blind and deaf. Journalists find the institution intimidating because they only accept journalists who would butt heads with other journalists on the panel. Most journalists on the panel write for papers no one has ever heard of, and sometimes write for papers completely unrelated to the subject matter of film and art. Despite running into the same problems over and over again, the Golden Globes claim that they are dedicated to reforming their award system. In 2022, the Golden Globes were canceled, and they publicly made claims that this was over the concern of COVID-19 spread. In reality, the show was canceled because there was plenty of scandal boiling underneath the surface. An actress made a public claim that there was rampant sexual harassment taking place, and a different actor returned all 3 of his Golden Globe awards and made a public statement that he would no longer be supporting the Academy. At the same time, the Golden Globes were facing criticism once more for their lack of diversity. The old diversity advisors quit, and they had to hire new ones. They also decided that they would take the diversity accusations seriously and reform the judging panel by increasing the representation of diverse judges by 50%. The Golden Globes do sometimes get a win, though. For example, Diana Ross was only nominated for her role as Billie Holiday in Lady Sings the Blues when it came to the Oscars. The Golden Globes corrected this decision on their part and gave her the award that she deserved for her outstanding performance. There is often an overlap between what is nominated by the Oscars and what is nominated by the Golden Globes. It may seem redundant, but sometimes, since the Golden Globes are more lenient, this can be a chance for an artist who didn't win an Oscar to collect another respectable accolade and win. Until 2021, the Golden Globes had never dedicated themselves to appointing a judge with a different perspective or experience of life than them. They promised to do it as soon as possible. The Golden Globes are judged by the HFPA, and not a single member has ever been black in 81 years. In 2021, they claimed that they were committed to addressing this matter. In 2023, Jared Carmichael became the first black person to host the Golden Globes. He walked onto the stage to give his opening statement for the wondrous night I'm here because I'm black.
I'm here because I'm black.
2023 was the first time HFPA had a black judge on board, and also the first year that they had a black host. Jared was very blunt about this fact and gave it a comedic spin. People were able to acknowledge the less tasteful aspects of the relationship between the Golden Globes and Black Hollywood, but also put it behind them to see what the institution can change going forward. In 2024, Colman Domingo was nominated for an award for Best Actor for his performance as Rustin in the biopic of the same name. Jeffrey Wright was nominated for Best Actor for his role in American Fiction. Fantasia Barrino, who wasn't nominated for an Oscar or any other popular award, was nominated by the Golden Globes for her performance in The Color Purple. Davine Joy Randolph won an award for her performance in The Holdovers. David Oyelowo was nominated for Best Performance in Lawman Bass Reeves. Trevor Noah, Chris Rock, and Wanda Sykes were nominated for Best Stand-Up Comedy on Television. Click on this next video to stay caught up on Black Hollywood, its history, and the icons that made it what it is today.